Now, my next piece of advice is crucial because it's going to make sure that you're on the professor's good side. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, the best place to build your tech career and have fun along the way. I'm Liz, and today I'm super excited to be talking about how to save your grade in online class. I'll be giving you my online school advice and my study advice for 2021 because midterms are over and there's only a few weeks of the semester left, which means there's only a few weeks to save our grades. And if you're like me, I'm in graduate school, maybe you're in college, maybe you're in high school, and you're thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, where did the semester go? I need to save my grade because it is a little scary, or maybe it's just, not that scary, but you're like, it could be better. We need to boost that GPA. That's important. Well, this is the video for you. I'm going to break down 10 easy suggestions that are going to transform your grades in a short amount of time. And with that, let's get into the video. My first suggestion, which may be one of the most important things I mentioned today, is to make a plan. Now, you can start by outlining your course material. Maybe in one course you've covered 12 chapters for the semester, and if you have 4 weeks left to study, you could try to cover 3 chapters each week so that you're pacing yourself. Another strategy could be to make more time and days for the content which is harder for you, and so you can review the easy material more quickly and then spend more time on the material that's more difficult for you. When you're making this plan, you don't want to just say review notes for each section or chapter that you've covered, but you may want to review specific homework assignments or projects that relate to that chapter as well. So now that you've made an effective plan or outline of what you need to cover, you can schedule your time for studying. This is super important. One of the quotes that I live by is, "You will never change your life until you change something you do daily." So it's really important to schedule your time so that you can make yourself accountable for studying. And you don't have to start out by studying 5 hours a day 4 weeks before final exams. You can start by studying 30 minutes or an hour a day, and that way when final exams comes around, you don't have to spend as many crazy sleepless nights cramming for the exam, and you won't have to pull all-nighters, which could then lead to mental fatigue during your exam. Suggestion number 3 is to remember to take breaks so you don't get burnt out. After you've studied for the amount of time that you want and that you know works for you, you need to take a break so that your mind can kind of relax for a little bit or go to a different task. Because if your mind is, focused in front of a computer screen for too long, it's easy to get fatigued, and then slowly, as the time increases, your performance may decrease. So it's good to have a balance, get up, walk around, have a snack, maybe go on a walk, get some fresh air. That's gonna help so that you don't get burned out. And then oftentimes, if something you're not understanding and you've looked at it for hours or you've worked at it, sometimes taking a break can actually resolve that issue, and you'll end up understanding it better and you'll be refreshed for tackling the next section in your study schedule. Suggestion number 4 is to reach out to new people to study with. Now, this can be challenging, especially in online class. I am completely online. I'm a full-time graduate student in computer science, and it can be scary to reach out to someone over chat or email and connect with them and ask them to study. However, it can mean a huge difference. I originally started the semester with only like 2 people that I knew in the class, and we did okay. However, I was able to reach out to a few others later in the semester who had a little different perspective, and they had different strengths and different weaknesses than me and my friends that I already knew. So I feel like that helped balance it out, and they were able to explain things that I didn't know, and then I could explain things that they didn't know, and in the end, it was like we were all teaching each other new things, and that's helpful for everybody. So I know it can be scary, but reaching out to students, especially especially when you want to have study groups and go over past quizzes and exams. This is super important. Suggestion number 5 is to meet with your professor individually. So if you've been going to office hours regularly, that's already awesome because the professor probably knows who you are. If you participate in class, that's great. If you don't do those things, it's not too late. It's not too late to show the professor that you care, that you're making an effort, or go over specific concerns you have about a specific grade. Sometimes professors will give you points back. Sometimes what you conveyed in your answer on an exam or on an assignment is not what the professor interpreted. So if you can explain yourself, give a perspective, it's possible you could get points back. And also, even if you don't get anything back or you can't get extra credit, it's still helpful to show the professor that you care about the class, that you're working and you're trying to have a better success on the future exam. And also keep in mind that these professors are dealing with online classes themselves, so they don't have that same response from a screen that they would in regular classes. So sometimes it's harder for them to gauge when someone asks a question, when the class is understanding something, when they're not understanding something. So meeting with your professor individually will help you stand out. It'll help form a better connection with your professor that you would ordinarily get from an in-person class, but you can't really get from an online class. My next suggestion is to follow up with the professor on what you've missed on quizzes or exams or homework assignments. Now, you can do this at the previous step in a meeting with your professor, but if you don't have time for that, or maybe your professor's not available, you should write emails. You can email your professor with specific questions on the exam. Can you please clarify this? I'm not understanding what's going on, or I tried really hard on this assignment. What I'm missing? Because this is important to you. And sending these emails can make a huge difference, especially because these professors, again, they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They don't get to talk to you in the same way that we used to be able to. So making yourself known, making a little time to make a quick email. Maybe you could send an email twice a week or once a week that explains a few things that you're concerned about. Now, my next piece of advice is crucial because it's going to make sure that you're on the professor's good side. My next piece of advice is to email the professor profound questions. So this will demonstrate that you are paying attention in class, or you're doing the readings and you're learning the topics that are assigned. And then you're also bringing a higher level, exploration of that topic. And at the end of the day, these professors just want you to engage and learn and explore things that are interesting to you, but still relevant to that class. So it's always nice when the professor can see, wow, this student really thought deeply into this topic and they explored something, and now I'm going to answer their question because that's something I didn't think of before, and that was a really intelligent question. This can make a huge difference in showing the professor that you care, that you're paying attention in class, and that you're getting things out of the class. Now, if you can't come up with profound questions, whatever the reason, that's okay. What you can do is create clarifying questions and email the professor. So maybe you're 85% sure of a question and you are confident in your answer, but you want to show the professor that you're, paying attention in class and you're basically there. So you email the professor this question, hey, I'm pretty sure this is what it means, but I just wanted to double check, because obviously you care about the class and you want to do well, so you want to make sure it's right by the professor. Then the professor, most likely, if you're 85% correct, then he will say, oh yeah, you're on the right track. Maybe he'll give you that extra push if you're missing something. And then they can also think to themselves, okay, did I clarify that well in class? And they can help more students as well. So if you're thinking something, you're probably not the only one, and we're all doing better if we're all learning and we're all improving. So keep that in mind. Suggestion number 8 is to practice, because practice makes permanent. I suggest going over past quizzes and past homework assignments, maybe redoing them, or you and a study buddy in class could try to time yourselves. If you know how long the exam's gonna take and roughly how many questions, you can try to pace yourself with sample questions so that you're prepared for the exam. Because again, the more that you're in the mode of the exam, the more that you practice that environment, the better you will do. My 9th tip for you is to study before you go to sleep. Research shows that memory consolidation happens during sleep. So if you really want your studying to pay off and be deeply ingrained into your brain, then it's best to study before you go to sleep. Now, if you're someone who doesn't like to study at night, that's okay because you can always take naps during the day. I love naps, so you could study before a nap and then you could wake up and study some more and everything will be golden. And my last and final tip for you guys, tip number 10, is to look up cheat sheets for your class. If you look up something like, okay, Intro to Bioinformatics cheat sheet, the odds are something will come up with the most important formulas, the most important concepts for you to review. And you can say, oh my goodness, it's all right here. You don't have to go searching in your notes to find it. So this can save you a lot of time. And I know I've had professors in the past say that we can make our own cheat sheets for the exam and potentially use them. Sometimes it's been like a small note card that we can write on. Sometimes it's been like a full sheet of paper or 2 sheets of paper. And so looking up a cheat sheet, Intro to Artificial Intelligence cheat sheet, it'll show you these important formulas and you can say, oh, okay, how does this compare to my class material? We covered this, we covered this, we covered this, and then you can see, okay, we didn't cover that, so maybe I don't need to review that, or you can look at it and see, okay, we did cover this, but I'm not sure I quite understand it. The internet is a beautiful place for reviewing topics. That's kind of like the overview summary and the most important concepts. But steps 1 through 9 will get you the specifics so that you can attack problems very thoroughly and effectively. I wanted to quickly emphasize that I suggest these cheat sheets as study materials, as review sheets, and when you're actually taking your final exam, you should be doing that in an academically honest way and following whatever guidelines are set before you. Schools take academic honesty and academic integrity very seriously, and you don't want to violate that, especially because a lot of your actions are being recorded, and violating any of your school's policies could have consequences ranging from a 0 on an exam or test to failing the class to being expelled from the school, and then that could prevent you from getting into other schools and possibly ever finishing your degree that you want. Keep in mind that I put together these 10 tips on how to save your grade because I care about you and your academic journey and your career journey, and I want you to be successful. Now, if there's a tip that you have that I didn't mention, I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. And if you're new to my channel, I love to make college, math, computer science, and career advice videos on Fridays. And I also love to make lifestyle and makeup content on Tuesdays. And I would love if you would check out my video on how to survive final exams, because final exams are coming up very soon. And I think that would also share some really important study techniques. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a wonderful Friday, and I will see you on Tuesday.